Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. If you probably can guess, we have TNA as always. We're only one day away for Against All Odds. Now, as you probably know, battle lines have been drawn for it, but others have been added. So we'll see how things will progress. But however, we will see as well that some things are a little crazy from here on out. Then we move on with our last review with Ring of Honor, featuring many matches, including, of course, a proving ground match. Athena makes her return and has a proving ground match against Rachel Armstrong, who many of you may or may not have heard of her from the Independents. And then, as always, we will cap up our episode, as usual, with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what offensive promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got do Nike Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us, so click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the yapping. Let's get the meeting call into order. So let's begin, of course, with TNA. TNA, one day away from Against All Odds. So we begin, of course, with women's singles action. Indy Hartwell versus Tasha Steelz. Now, this match, as you probably can guess, was something we've been looking for. Now, ever since Indy Hartwell made her in-ring debut, she was about to give her interview until Tasha Steelz decided to go to tantrum because Mustafa Ali, as usual with his depressed mode, decided to interrupt. However, of course, we did see what happened in Under Siege, where that creep Mustafa Ali decided to kick her down with no conscience. Now, of course, Tasha Steelz may have had everything under control, but the dumb hands, Jason Hotch and John Skyler, well, let's just say they should have just minded their own business, but they cost Tasha Steelz the match until Indy Hartwell applied Hurt Donate. So just like that, 1, 2, 3, she picked up the match, the win. However, during the post-match, we did see Mustafa Ali coming out really, really disappointed. Now, Tasha tried to reason with him, but of course, with his recent attitude, because he hasn't gone over the loss against Mike Santana, well, he completely, lost it. But Jason Hotch tried to step up with him. Skyler's like, no, dude, don't do this. I mean, John Skyler, being a prick that he is, he's not seeing the reality that things are not going exactly like they should have. But later we did see, of course, Skyler talking to Tasha, asking if she was okay. But of course, Mustafa, as you know, told Hotch that if he even do something like that again, there'll be consequences. So it seems now the cracks within the Order 4 has now been formed. Now, our next match is the X Division Championship. As you know, Eric Young pinned Moose during an event they did. I think it was in Under Siege, I believe. And this gave him the right opportunity for a shot of the X Division title. And I think he might have won it either 2 or 3 times, one of the two. So it's no secret. But what was crazy, as you probably know, TNA was in Canada, which is the home of Eric Young and Northern Armory. While the Northern Armory were distracting the refs, so is that idiot JDC. Well, let's just say Moose got tied up on the top of the corner buckle, and Eric Young was stepping on his gonads, and he was singing the Canada theme. I thought it was very nice. I mean, he did step into the threshold of Canada, but of course, JDC had to get involved in every way possible. But while his distraction came about, well, Moose low blowed Eric Young and then speared him, and just like that, retained the X Division title. Now, we haven't heard from Joe Hendry ever since he lost the TNA World title at Battleground in NXT. So he wanted to apologize and explain what really happened. He kind of willing to admit that he got carried away about what he was trying to do. But of course, the so-called king goes, none of this would have happened on my watch because I would never lose the belt. But you know that it doesn't matter. Even if the so-called king had the belt, he would have lost it too. It doesn't just mean that you're better. It means anything could happen. But, of course, I'm sure Joe Hendry's not going to take that crap from him one way or the other. Now, our next match, we have Heather and M by Elegance. Yeah, along with that little chihuahua taking on Harley Hudson and Myla Grace. Now, this whole thing come about a week ago. Now, that stupid chihuahua interrupted during an interview going, where's Santino? Where's Santino? It's like, dude, stop making it about you. You're interrupting an interview. But no, he doesn't care. It's all about the elegance. But of course, Harley Hudson and Myla Grace decided to make their introduction during the unveil of M by Elegance, and just like that, embarrassed them. And of course, this was a little bit of payback for the Elegance brand to get even for them. But as always, the dumb Chihuahua gets involved in this match, tried to distract the referee, and just like that, because of distraction, Myla Grace was the one who suffered the fate when M by Elegance applied, of course, a moonsault, and just like that. I hope they just shut the Elegance brand down completely. Let's see how things roll up from there. Now, our next match is the infamous Monsters Ball. Now, for those who are not familiarized with Monster Balls, if you are new to the channel or new in pro wrestling in general or in TNA, let me explain what the Monsters Ball is about. The Monster Ball is a famous match that was created by The Abyss, a famous wrestler from the TNA early days. The idea of the Monster Ball is that you are locked up in a room for about 12 hours, or 24 hours, however you see it, in the total darkness. The idea is that once they let you loose, well, that's when you have to go, unleash your inner monster within your soul in order to beat the crap out of your opponent using weapons. Tables, ladders, chairs, whatever. Now, this whole match came about because Rosemary has won this match before, but this time she's facing against Zaya Brookside. Someone, as you probably can guess, Brookside, who was not willing to cross the line. And of course, Rosemary has been trying to push her, and she snapped. But man, this match was insane. But one thing that saved Brookside is, of course, we know Rosemary does the green mist. Well, she used the lid of a trash can to block it, and just like that, she sung her right through the chairs, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Zaya Brookside picked up the win. So you can say the nightmare is over. Now, Trey Miguel and Zachary went back into the treehouse, and once again with their usual shenanigans without that moron Wesley. They talk about the Minute Brothers saying, they're not brothers, man. They're not brothers. They're not. They talk about people who are brothers, like, what's their like the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan and a few others, that sort of thing. Because as you probably can guess, those guys will get an opportunity of the TNA World Tag Team belts. Now, Santino Marella, as you know, made his presence known in the ring. Talk about what's been going on. As you know, apparently, as you probably know, Brett, about the last couple of weeks, Santino Marella's authority was being blocked by the so-called sheriff, Mr. Stone. Now, the reason Mr. Stone showed up, he's proclaiming that Santino Marella's, leadership and control in TNA is the reason it's been failing. Bullshit. No. The only reason Mr. Stone is there is simple. Mr. Stone is there because he has no respect in NXT or Evolve. So he decided I'm going to go TNA and make myself respectful. Well, that's what he's been doing. But of course, last time, Mr. Stone teamed up with Victoria Crawford to take on Santino and his daughter Ariana. Now, recently during NXT, which I never put out, well, there was a moment, of course, Mr. Santino's telling Ariana that he's going to destroy her father and take control of TNA. Santino said that he talked to the board, saying that there's going to be a match against Mr. Stone. However, the stipulation, if Santino loses, he's out of TNA. But if Mr. Stone loses, he's out of TNA. And of course, Mr. Stone is saying that he's going to be the one to remove them. I just hope Santino does get rid of Mr. Stone because he's a bit of an annoyance. So we'll see how things will roll out from there. Now let's jump into our main event, which is a 6-man tag team match. We have the Menace brothers, our current TNA World Tag Team Champions, teaming up with Frankie Kazarian, the so-called King, taking on Leon Slater, Matt Hardy, and Mike Santana. However, well, let's just tell you guys, Mike Santana is not a happy camper after got screwed this past Tuesday by the First Class. And of course, he's going to take his frustration out on the so-called King and the Menace brothers. And that's exactly what he did. He took his frustration out when he applied the spin the block on that idiot. He is Nick Manett's brother. The end. Yep, he took out Ryan Manett with the spin the block. 1, 2, 3. Santana, Hardy, and Slater picked up the win. So we'll see what happens the following day and against all odds. But for now, we'll end things here with TNA, and let's move on with our last review, Ring of Honor. Okay, Ring of Honor. So we opened up with women's tag team action, and as you probably can guess, we're not that far off of the upcoming AEW Ring of Honor at the Arena Mexico making their official debut. Our first match features Dulce Tormenta teaming up with the baddie Layla Gray, taking on Persephone and Thunder Rosa. And I thought the match was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie about it. I mean, it's great to see the ladies from CML making their presence known in Ring of Honor. It's no secret about the Ring of Honor's past towards the relationship with CML, which is very common all the time. So this, you can say, is like a bit of a preview in some capacity, but it's not. But it was Thunder Rosa here in this match that picked up the win when she applied the Cobra Clutch on Dulce Tormenta, and just like that, she and Persephone actually picked up the win. But we did hear from Thunder Rosa saying that they will be making their appearance at the ROH Global Wars, or whatever they call it, at Arena Mexico. And I think many of us are looking forward of seeing AEW and Ring of Honor appearing at the Arena Mexico, which is a legendary venue. Now, we did see the frat house, as you know, talking. Well, they had a little talk with Ian Riccaboni, who they've been hearing about the comments he's been saying. But Ian Riccaboni tried to save his own ass by saying, "Look, I said some things, yeah, but I never did deny you guys had some great abs." We're like, okay, so they kind of let that slide for now. Now, we did see, of course, the frat house later on in a match. Features Cole Carter and Griff Garrison taking on two of their pledges. Now, this is how they do things. I don't know who these guys are completely, but the match ended, of course, as usual with the frat house, thanks to Griff Garrison pick up the win. Now, we did see Aaron Solo versus Wheeler Yuta. Now, of course, we know Wheeler Yuta, dangerous individual, member of the Death Riders. Well, of course he was going to pick up the win, and he used, of course, a specific move that we've seen from Bryan Danielson, which is the Busaiku, and just like that, he picked up the win. Now, Johnny TV, along with his wife Tail Valkyrie, and of course his compadres MXM Collection, as you know, are sending a message to the people in Mexico, most specifically down at the arena in Mexico. As you know, they'll be making the presence known. So we'll see what happens from there. Now, our main event features the Proving Ground match for the ROH Women's World Title. Now, for those who don't know what the Proving Ground is, you have at least 10 minutes to survive. If you were able to hold on or pick up a pinfall against, of course, your opponent, well, you get a title shot. So that's always been the case. But this happens on rare occasions in case anybody asks. So Athena makes her return after who knows how long to take on Rachel Armstrong. But of course, this match ended with Athena picking up the win. As usual, she applied the straight jacket power bomb, and just like that, it was over. But however, when it comes to Athena, you know she likes to send a message to anybody who stands in her way. But this time, it was Thunder Rosa who stood up to her this time. And it seems now Thunder Rosa is probably aiming for the ROH women's title. And I'm sure Athena's not appreciating it, and I'm sure she's going to throw a temper tantrum over this. But we'll see how things will go. I'm sure many of us will love to see her win that belt. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, we are done with Ring of Honor. Let's move on to our last and final thing to end this episode, and that is, of course, news updates. Alright, so welcome to our news updates. As always, let's begin with upcoming events. Now, let's start with the GCW. We have the Banging in Little Rock that will take place on June 20th in Little Rock, Arkansas. Blake Christian will go head to head with the Pig Striker, Miyu Yamashita. I just hope Miyu kicked the living lights out of him with the skull kicker, and he deserves it. Now, we do have To Take a Picture taking place on the 22nd of June in Kansas City, Missouri. We have Always Ready Matt Cardona taking on Jimmy Effin Lloyd. Now, Jersey Championship Wrestling, as you know, will have their upcoming event on the 12th of June. Rex Sport Pro Wrestling, we have Teriyaki versus, who's the guy? Jay Evans. I don't know who that guy is. Seattle-based promotion, Defy Wrestling with Vortex on the 13th of June. We have Megasis, Megan Bain taking on Nicole Matthews. Then on the 15th of June, we have Deadlock Pro Wrestling with Victory Lap. There's going to be a street fight, Matt Tremont versus Mad Dog Connolly. Then we have Major League Wrestling, MLW, with Summer of the Beast taking place on the 26th of June. It announced Anthony Green versus Brock Anderson. Then we have, of course, on the 29th of June, Spark Yoshi Pururuso of America with Ignite Texas, their Texas show in Redford, Texas. They announced Jasmine Lore is now being booked for this event. And then finally, Canadian-based promotion, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling with Resurrection on July 5th in Montreal. They announced the PWA Champions Grail will be defended. The champion, Rohan Raja, will defend the championship against Alex Hammerstone. So that's pretty much it for our upcoming events. Let's talk about, of course, some developments. Now, if for anybody out there who is big fans of Aya Sakura from Stardom, it was later revealed that she changed her the ID for her X account or Twitter account, and this is what she named it to, at Stardom_Sakura. So if you guys are fans of Aya Sakura, I suggest you should follow her and make sure. Interesting things now. I'm not here to be political or anything. I don't like to do this on this channel. But something interesting has happened. WWE had their main event in Tampa, Florida. Well, the governor of Florida made his appearance. Apparently, he wasn't well received with the WWE fan base. Well, they just booed him and they just told him that you suck. Now, I was like, I would have assumed people would embrace them because it's Florida, but nope. I don't know what really happened. It was crazy. I saw this, of course, in on Instagram. Someone posted it. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube or anything, but it's interesting, that they just booed him, and he was just there. I mean, we know that there has been politicians that appeared in pro wrestling's, either if you're not not serving or you are, so that's not a thing. Now, another interesting thing, many of you know this already. As you know, Tetsuya Naito and Bushi are no longer with New Japan. Well, it was later revealed that they have lost the rights to their theme songs. The that one song we know about Bushi and Tetsuya Naito. Well, it seems that they're no longer be able to use them, which of course is a real bummer. Even lost the rights to use LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón. However, it was later announced that he will have a brand new team name that he and Bushi will form. Now, it's still unclear what the plans are for Naito. We do know that recently he will be having surgery of some sorts, uh, but it's still unclear what's he going to do next. I mean, it's still no indication about Naito or Bushi if they're going to make an appearance at other promotions, either with Noah or All Japan, or just doing freelance work. I'm not sure. That is still an unclear question here, but hopefully time will tell. And then finally, as you all may remember or not, Masahiro Takanashi, who many of you may have seen in Choco Pro, as you know, last year suffered an injury during his match against his CDK tag team partner, Chris Brooks. As you know, he suffered a injury on his spine in one of the, I don't know which one. He was out in action. However, Choco Pro, as you know, who served like his family, launched a GoFundMe page to help, of course, Masahiro Takanashi with his medical expenses. So you can try to look it up either on their social media and find the link there. I'll see if I can try to put the link on our channel if it's possible. If not, I apologize. Sometimes I forget to add in the links when I'm as soon as I've already done filming. But yes, so that's pretty much it. I just hope Masahiro Takanashi recovers well, and I hope you know, he gets well soon and he returns. If not, then we had a great time seeing him. So we'll see how things roll up. But as of right now, we are done with our episode, with everything, with our reviews and our updates here. So let's just call it a day. Okay, so I hope everybody enjoys this episode. I'm sorry I couldn't put another review due to the fact that there were certain things I had to take care of, but nonetheless, I got this done. Now, as for our next episode, well, that is a bit of a conundrum for me. The reason is this is because the following day on a Saturday, I'll be in fact going back to work. I really work earlier in the morning, in case anybody asks. So I am only considering possibly just doing a TNAs against all odds, and just like that, just leave it one review so I won't be stressed out. But we'll see. I'm way behind on certain Yoshi events. I'm trying to see if I can catch up, but we'll see how things will progress from here on out. Um, but as we say, I'll try to keep hopefully the next episode just one review if it's possible. But if not, then I'll probably put it later on and do it on a Saturday, since I'm off early on that day too. But we'll see. But as of right now, I will say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang!